Good morning, friends. I'm Lal Mohan Rajak, author cum motivational speaker. Today, we are going to talk on sustainable development through life skills, the book written by me, the author of the book Lal Mohan Rajak. We are going to discuss some of the points of that book. Already, I have mentioned this is a book authored by me, and it is a book based on a lecturate given by one of the renowned universities in India. I was the key speaker, and this book was the base of that lecture given by me. Sustainable development through life skills. When we talk about what is sustainable development, it is a process of developing a nation, a society, globe in such a way that the resources of today's generations could be utilized economically and judiciously so that the resources will be available for the coming generations for decades and centuries. As we see that our ancestors utilized those natural resources to develop themselves, but in such a way that after thousands of years, we are still able to utilize those natural resources like minerals, petroleums, coal, water, forests, land, and it will continue to be utilized by the next generation. So, after having global meetings several times, the intellectuals, the state heads, the scientists, social scientists, authors, motivators, they thought of having some sort of formula to keep the development in entire universe in the globe sustainable. That means the resources could be used by one generation and must be kept for utilization by the next generation and next generation and next generation. In 2015, United Nations organization held a meeting. Before that, so many targets were set to have sustainable development achieved in all over the world. When we see the globe is divided into three developmental geographical areas. One is a group of developed nations. The second is group of developing nations, and the third is group of underdeveloped nations. Majority of the nations are underdeveloped, and a few are on the process of developing, and very few, maybe 5, 6, below 10, are among the developed nations. So, what are the points, goals should be achieved to have the concept of a developed nation? So, there were few points before 2015, and in 2015 in the summit held by United Nations organizations adopted 17 goals called Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs 17. If those 17 goals are achieved by any nation, the nation will be in the list of developed nations. But it has to continue. Consistency must be maintained. It's not that 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 17 goals are achieved and then again it came to the same place as it was earlier. But it is a process, cannot be achieved in 1 or 2 months or 2 years. So the time frame was set, smart goal was set, specific, measurable, achievable, reliable, and time bound. So span of 15 years was taken as a formulation, and it was told that all the developed nations should guide, should motivate, and should do whatever is necessary for developing the underdeveloped nations and supporting the developing nations and maintaining and going higher and higher on the strata of developmental levels in the developed nations. Then one thing comes in mind, an idea, how the sustainable development can be possible. So when we see the secret of success of sustainable development, which are seen in the developed nations, majority of the sustainable development goals are achieved by the developed nations. This is possible through a set of life skills. When we say set of life skills, means what? Unless we have a set of life skills, a set of habits, set of cultures induced and trained amongst the children, the adolescents, the youths, and the citizens of a nation. So, let us describe one by one. Let us describe sustainable development through life skills in following 5 parts. These are the excerpts of my book, authored by me, Sustainable Development Through Life Skills. I am Lal Mohan Rajak, author, motivational speaker. So let us ask a few questions. What is sustainable development? What are the life skills those support sustainable development? What are the sustainable development goals? What are the roles of research scholars and universities in achieving sustainable Development Goals. Let us look into these one by one. Sustainable development is the process of fulfilling the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their needs. For example, using minerals minimally to fulfill the present necessity requirements, necessary requirements, so that the minerals could be preserved for meeting the future generations' requirement. Now, next question comes: what are the life skills those support the process of sustainable development? There may be different sets of sustainable development goal achievement in various fields. Here are some which are going to be discussed. Those are the skills of life which will enhance the process of sustainable development through achieving the sustainable development goals. We call them in brief SDGs. In nutshell, we can say that the life skills are to be utilized to achieve the sustainable development goals. Now, which are the essential life skills? Let us know. Critical thinking and problem solving, we can call it in short CTPS. The second is communication and collaboration, C square. Third is emotional intelligence and self awareness, EISA. Fourth is adaptability and resilience, AR. Creativity and innovation, CI. Decision making and entrepreneurship, DME. Time management and productivity, TMP. Conflict resolution and negotiation, CRN. Environmental awareness and sustainability, EAS. And the last is, but not the ultimate, we may have so many. The 10th is digital literacy and technology skills, DLTS. Now, after having known an approximately compiled list of essential life skills which will be able to support the process of achieving sustainable development goals in all over the world, whether it is developed nation or developing nations or a group of underdeveloped nations. The third question comes: what are the sustainable development goals? As per United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, sustainable development, there are 17 sustainable development goals set up in September 2015, and the agenda is called the 2030 Agenda for sustainable development. So, which are the 17 sustainable goals, SDGs? Number one is no poverty, NPP, zero hunger, good health and well being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions. And the last is partnership for the goals. So let us know some of the points before we go for the SDGs from 1 to 17. Let us know the history of 17 SDGs, how these 17 sustainable development goals were developed, listed, and how much time it took, could take. Then comes implementation progress, SDGs, icons, downloads, and guidelines. So these are the three things we are going to discuss one by one. Let us know the history. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, adopted by all United Nations member states in 2015. It provides a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet now and into the future. At its heart are the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, which are an urgent call for action by all countries, developed and developing, in a global partnership. They recognize that ending poverty and other deprivations must go hand in hand with strategies that improve health and education, induce equality by reducing inequality, and spur economic growth, all while tackling climate change and working to preserve our oceans and forests. The SDGs are built on decades of work of the United Nations, including Department of Economics and Social Affairs member countries. In June 1992, at the Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. In Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, 178 countries adopted Agenda 21, a comprehensive plan of action to build a global partnership for sustainable development to improve human lives and protect the environment. Member states unanimously adopted the Millennium Declaration at the Millennium Summit in September 2000 at United Nations headquarters in New York. The summit agreed upon elaboration of 8 Millennium Development Goals, and they were called MDGs, to reduce extremely poor conditions or extreme poverty by 2015. Johannesburg Declaration on Sustainable Development and the plan of implementation adopted at the World Summit on Sustainable Development in South Africa in 2002 reaffirmed reaffirmed the global community's commitment to poverty eradication and environmental protection, and built on Agenda 21 and the Millennium Declaration by including more emphasis on multilateral partnership. At the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development Rio Plus 20 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil in 2012, member states adopted the outcome document The Future We Want, in which they decided, inter alia, to launch a process to develop a set of SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, to build upon the MDGs, Millennium Development Goals, and to establish the UN High Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development. The Rio 20, or we can say Rio Plus 20, outcome also contained other measures for implementing sustainable development, including mandates for future programs of work in development, financing small islands, developing states, and more. In 2013, the UN General Assembly set up a 30-member open working group to develop the proposals on the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. In January 2015, the General Assembly began the negotiation process on the post 2015 development agenda. The process culminated in the subsequent adoption and the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development with 17 Sustainable Development Goals at its core at the UN Sustainable Development Summit in September 2015. 2015 was a landmark year of multilateralism and international policy shaping, with the adoption of several major agreements. The agreements are Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction 2015, Addis Ababa Action Agenda on Financing for Development July 15, Transforming Our World, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development with its 17 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, was adopted at the UN Sustainable Development Summit in New York in September 2015. Paris Agreement on Climate Change, December 2015. Now the annual high-level political forum on sustainable development with its 17 Sustainable Development Goals serves as the central United Nations platform, for the follow-up and review of the SDGs, that is, Sustainable Development Goals. Today, the division of Sustainable Development Goals, the SDG, in the United Nations Department of Economics and Social Affairs, UNDESA, UNDESA provides substantive support and capacity building for the SDGs, that is, Sustainable Development Goals, and their related thematic issues, particular issues. Thematic issues means particular issues, including water, energy, climate, oceans, urbanization, transport, science, and technology. The Global Sustainable Development Report GSDR, partnerships and small island developing states SIDS, Division for Sustainable Development Goals DSDGs, play a key role in the evaluation of UN system-wide implementation of the 2030 Agenda and on advocacy and outreach activities relating to the SDGs in order to make the 2030 Agenda a reality. Broad ownership of the SDGs must translate into a strong commitment by all stakeholders to implement the global goals. The SDG aims to help facilitate this engagement. Sustainable development through life skills is crucial for improving the process of empowerment, or on other hand, we can say empowering individuals and communities to thrive in an ever-changing world. Here are key life skills those contribute to sustainable development. Some of the skills are essential life skills: critical thinking and problem solving, communication and collaboration, emotional intelligence and self awareness, adaptability and resilient, creativity and innovation, decision making and entrepreneurship, time management and productivity, conflict resolution and negotiation, environmental awareness and sustainability, digital literacy and technology skills. Already, when I started my key speech, my lecture on sustainable development goals through life skills, achieving sustainable development goals through life skills, I have explained all these 10 human or life skills. Sustainable development goals alignment. Which are those we call sustainable development? Number one is quality education, that is SDG 4. So, it is on the basis of importance of the goals, priority of the goals. But the sustainable development goals are listed, and each goal has its own place in the list, proposed, prepared, approved, and finalized by the members of United Nations organizations. The second is decent work and economic growth. This is SDG 4 listed in SDG goals achievement in 8 number. Reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, climate action, peace justice, and strong institutions. Now, what are the benefits of life skills for sustainable development? These skills improve employability and economic opportunities. We have enhanced community engagement and participation. Better decision making and problem solving capacities are developed. Increased adaptability and resilience, effective communication and collaboration, environmental stewardship and sustainability, reduced poverty and inequality, improved mental and physical well-being. Now, what are the strategies for implementing these life skills? Integrate life skills into education curricula. Provide vocational training and apprenticeship. Promote community-based initiatives and projects. Foster mentorship and coaching programs. Encourage entrepreneurship and innovation hub. Develop digital platforms and resources. Collaboration with stakeholders and organizations. Monitor and evaluate program effectiveness. Key stakeholders, who are those going to participate? The governments, educational institutions, community organizations, private sector companies, civil society organizations, international organizations, individuals, and families. By focusing on life skills developments, we can empower individuals and communities to drive sustainable development and create a brighter future for all. Critical thinking and problem solving are essential skills for personal and professional growth. What is critical thinking? We'll come to know in the next video. We'll discuss next time. Thank you so much. I am Lal Mohan Rajak, author of the book, one of the books, Sustainable Development Through Life Skills. And then we conclude this for today. Thank you so much. I am Lal Mohan Rajak, author of the book, excerpts of few lines I have already spoken from the book authored by me, Sustainable Development Through Life Skills. I am Lal Mohan Rajak, author cum motivational speaker. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.